Well, I decided to rank all 17 MCU films together. That was kind of stressful. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my ranking of the 17 MCU films, Iron Man through Thor Ragnarok. I'm really excited to get into this ranking. I found it was kind of stressful to put this list together because I just found there's no movie in this MCU that I dislike. I mean, yeah, there's some I like more than others, but overall, I have a lot of fun with all of them. Before I dive into my list, I did send a message out to my patrons, and Sarah Hicks responded on Patreon with her list of how she would rank these 17 MCU movies. So, Sarah, thank you so much for being a patron. Your support means so much to me. So, here is Sarah's ranking. Coming in for her at number 17, The Incredible Hulk. 16, Iron Man 3. 15, Iron Man 2, 14, Thor the Dark World, 13, Iron Man 1, 12, Age of Ultron, 11, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 10, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, 9, Thor Ragnarok, 8, Captain America, 7, Thor, 6, Avengers, 5, Ant-Man, 4, Civil War, 3, Spider-Man Homecoming, 2, Doctor Strange, and number 1, Winter Soldier. Thank you, Sarah, for sending me your list, and now I'm super excited to dive into my ranking, and I want to hear your ranking. So be sure to let me know how you would rank these movies, Iron Man through Thor Ragnarok, in the comments below. Can't wait to hear from you. So diving into it, number 17, Thor the Dark World. I have a regular commenter, Ryan, who always comments, when I post Thor lower, and because he's like, come on, it's a good movie. You know what, Ryan, I agree with you. And this is how much I like the MCU. Even Thor being here at number 17, my least favorite position. Right now, if I put Thor Ragnarok in my Blu-ray player and just hit play, I could watch it and have an absolute blast doing it. It is a fun movie. It's got its flaws, and I've dug deep into those flaws in other videos, but I will just say, even in spite of its flaws, I love Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I thought this was a great movie, and it does deserve more love than it gets. But yeah, I like Thor. It's at my number 17, but don't let that deter you from the fact that I still like it. Number 16, The Incredible Hulk. I was really surprised by this movie when I saw it on the big screen. I had a lot more fun with it than I was expecting because I didn't like the other Hulk that came out before this one. But Edward Norton just did a great job as Bruce Banner. And it falls here at my number 16 because, well, we now have Mark Ruffalo. And he is the Hulk. He is Bruce Banner. I'm sorry. He's it. No insult to Edward Norton. He was fantastic in this, but Mark Ruffalo is it. Number 15, Iron Man 2. This one falls at number 15 simply because it feels like it's a repeat of Iron Man 1. Like beat for beat and plot point for plot point, it really is Iron Man 1. But it's also testimony to how much I really like it and how well I think they do with these films, that while I was watching this on the big screen, I was thinking that in the back of my mind. I was like, this is just a repeat of Iron Man 1. But the biggest thing that was on my mind was I love Robert Downey Jr. in this role. He does a fantastic job, and this movie's just incredibly fun. So even having that one negative point of Iron Man 2 repeating Iron Man 1, I still had a blast with it and a lot of fun. Number 14, Iron Man 3. What really holds this movie back for me is the Mandarin. And the Mandarin holds it back because when I was watching the trailers, I loved Ben Kingsley in the trailers. Like, I was so excited to see him as this villain. I loved, like, that Southern Baptist preacher accent, whatever it was he was doing with his voice. The way he portrayed this character, the trailers, it gave me chills. And then when I was watching the movie, before it was revealed that he wasn't the Mandarin and that he was just Trevor, this actor, like, he did such a fantastic job. I mean, I loved it. So I was really let down when it turned out that's not what he was really like, and he was just this other dude. I was like really saddened by that. So that's what really holds this movie back for me. Otherwise, there's a lot of other plot points and story points that I really enjoyed in this movie. And again, Robert Downey Jr. just does a great job in this role. How can you not love him as Iron Man no matter what the movie is? So I really still enjoyed this movie. It's just that one big thing that kind of holds it back for me. Number 13, Thor Ragnarok. So when I dropped my review for Thor Ragnarok, I had people at my church, elders at my church, come up to me after seeing my review and seeing the movie and saying, now, aren't you being too harsh on this movie? It's just fun. Can't you just let it be fun? People at my church, man! I was being corrected at church for the review that I dropped for Thor Ragnarok. And All I have to say is this. I stand by what I said. I'm very disappointed with Thor Ragnarok. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. Can't I just be disappointed with it, but still objectively have fun with it? I saw this movie twice on the big screen. So I liked it. I liked it fine the first time. I liked it better the second time. But even when I'm telling you I liked it better the second time, I'm still a little disappointed. And I stand by what I said, the humor, like a salt shaker. You know, when you put a little salt on your meal, it's perfect. When the cap falls off and the salt spills on your meal, it ruins it. I feel like with the first Thor movie, which I really liked and nobody else seems to, but I really liked it, and I thought Kenneth Branagh did a great job and a good tone was established with Thor. I felt like they maintained that tone. Then we get to Ragnarok, and they throw it in the cookie cutter of Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man Homecoming, which is not bad unto themselves. I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. But I just really like the tone they established in the first Thor, and I felt like it really went against the grain when they did that in Thor Ragnarok. That said, I still had fun with it. There's a lot of great epic scenes. They do a lot of fun stuff with the music. Hela is freaking scary and awesome, and they do a lot of really great things. So there's a lot of fun to be had with this movie. I was disappointed, and I stand by the fact that I was disappointed, and I'm still disappointed in the movie. But I also stand by the fact that I can be disappointed in a movie and still have fun with it. Whew. Number 12, Ant-Man. I just had fun with this movie. I enjoyed the heist element. I enjoyed the humor. Paul Rudd was fantastic. Michael Douglas was awesome. The way they played off each other. I just thought overall this whole movie just did a great job. And I've never really connected with Ant-Man. And really the most I know about Ant-Man comes from Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that animated series. So the most I know about Ant-Man comes from that. But I just never connected with him, and I really connected with him in this one. So I really enjoyed this movie, had more fun than I was expecting. I can't wait for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 11, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think what holds this one back for me is the fact that they established such a great bond with all these characters in the first one, and their chemistry was so great together. Then you get into this one, and they, split them up to all the different corners of the galaxy, and I wasn't a big fan of that. Putting that aside, there was so much in this movie that I liked. The humor was there. Baby Groot was awesome. You know, I got that little lump in my throat. My eyes teared up a little bit when Yondu said, "Ego may be your father, but I'm your daddy." And then he dies. Yeah, so I thought overall it was a fantastic movie. All right, the top 10. Coming in for me at number 10, Captain America, the First Avenger. This is my least favorite of the Captain America trilogy, but it's still a great film and I have a lot of fun with it. I think what holds it back for me is I would like to have seen more of Captain Steve Rogers' leadership with his team, with his troops, with his people. And I think that whole chunk in the middle where it was a huge, massive montage of him taking down the Red Skull's facilities and things like that, I think I would have rather seen more strategy. I would have rather seen him more working with his troops. I would have liked to seen him more and his team going in together. I don't know. I think of Braveheart when I think of that. I think of how you saw Mel Gibson bond with his team, how he had his inner circle, how you watch them strategize, how you watch them plan, how you see their personalities, and how you see those different things come out. Kind of like that typical thing that you kind of get in a lot of war movies. I just feel like we could have had that in this, and that would have been really cool. But that aside, this is a really fun movie. I don't have much negative whatsoever to say about Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 9, Thor. It is my favorite in the Thor trilogy. I just think this movie is fantastic. I love Kenneth Branagh as the director of this. I love that Shakespearean element that he brought to this. I love the whole plot line, the whole relationship between Thor and Odin. Thor being cast down because of his pride and not even able to pick up Mjolnir until he learns true humility. I mean, it's just such a great plot and a great story, and it's so well executed. It's such a good movie. Number 8, Spider-Man Homecoming. I greatly enjoyed the humor of this movie. I think what this movie pulled off so well is it really did a great job with that 1980s John Hughes high school movie humor. And it just did an excellent job executing that and then throwing in a superhero element. And I thought that was so well done. Tom Holland, probably my favorite live action portrayal of this character. I mean, I love the Andrew Garfield character. I just didn't really get attached to the Tobey Maguire movies. I'm sorry. I know that's offensive to some people, but hey, I do like Spider-Man too. But Tom Holland, I just liked the way he captured this character. I just felt like it was really a high schooler existing inside the MCU who loves these superheroes, who happens to get powers of his own, and wants to join their team, and he wants to be a superhero. And then his whole character arc and learning what it means to be a hero and wanting to stick up for the little people and not just join the Avengers and only take on the big stuff, but he wants to help the little people. Like, a lot of that was just so smart. And so much of this movie I really enjoyed. I even enjoyed the suit. I enjoyed his interaction with the AI Karen. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like that. The only thing I didn't like about that is I would like to have seen more spider senses. That's about it, though. Otherwise, I just had a lot of fun with it. Number 7, Iron Man. And this one definitely deserves a place of honor in the top 10 because this movie's fantastic. Could you imagine if this movie was a box office bomb? Could you imagine if this movie was a box office bomb? I mean, we would not have what we now have. Thankfully, not only was this not a bomb, it was excellent. You know, I was having a discussion with this about my wife before I hit record on this video, and I agreed with what she said. The one kind of negative about this movie is the villain. It's Obadiah Stane. Not that he was a bad villain, but we didn't get a lot of time with him, and the big villain fight at the end was like 30 seconds, so it felt a little anticlimactic when it got to that. Beyond that, we also both agree that the humor in this movie is excellent. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He is the single greatest part of this film. The whole montage of him building the suit, designing the suit, and the crazy things that ensue while he's doing that, it's all just so great. I mean, this is the one that started it all. It is a fantastic film. I love Iron Man and always will. Number 6, Avengers. The first Avengers movie is a great movie. It showed having a shared universe can work. I'm not sure that anybody else has pulled it off yet. I mean, I liked Justice League. It just... Point is, yeah, I like the Avengers. It was a great movie, and I loved how the individual stories were built up, and they're all brought together, and Joss Whedon did a great job where these characters never lost their individuality. We built on their individual stories through this corporate movie, and it was just awesome. So great job, Joss Whedon. Great job, Avengers. Yeah! Number 5, Age of Ultron. I'm in a minority here that I liked Age of Ultron better than the first Avengers. What I liked about this movie, Ultron, yeah, it was a little bit of a negative for me that in the trailers, they made Ultron look like he's going to be more sinister and more gritty, and then you get into this movie, and it's really not like that. He's more funny. But it also makes sense because he's created by Stark, so he's carrying on a lot of Stark's humor and stuff, so it makes sense. But, you know, when I let that go, James Spader does a great job as Ultron. I loved his characterization. I thought he was a great villain. I enjoyed this movie, our introduction to Vision, and just, I loved how this movie just started off with the Avengers. No, we have to regather the whole team from the 4 corners of the earth. None of that. This movie started with them together in an amazing action scene and went forward from there, and I just had a lot of fun with stuff like that in this movie. Number 4, Doctor Strange. I've done a lot of reviews and a lot of talking about this movie. I love it. It's just a fun movie. It's visually amazing. I love Doctor Strange. It's forever gonna be in like the top 10 of my MCU. I just don't predict anything ever knocking it out. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. These top 3 are hard because all 3 in these top 3 are exceedingly interchangeable. Almost anything in this list is kind of interchangeable. But especially here in the top 3, this was where it got really hard for me. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 definitely had to be in that top 3 because I really thought this was going to be Marvel's big misstep with a talking space raccoon. And talking space raccoon is now one of my favorite characters, and I love this movie. It is one of my favorite MCU movies and one of my favorite movies. Like, it's just, and it's great how it's its own standalone thing, not connected to the MCU, and yet we also get one of the Infinity Stones, very connected to the MCU. So smart how they put it together like that. So I love it. I thought it was a fantastic film. Number 2, Captain America, Civil War. Yes! This movie was great! Great introduction of Black Panther. Great introduction to a new Spider-Man. Great that it was overall a Captain America movie. Great that it also seemed to be an Avengers movie, but a tremendous balance with all the characters. Great that I thought Iron Man was a jerk and yet still love Iron Man and can't wait to see Iron Man go on and see them become friends again. Great that I understand why Iron Man took the position that he took, why Cap took the position that he took. Great that they built a history between these characters, which made the Civil War, which made them coming against each other all that much more powerful. So much about this movie I just tremendously enjoyed. Love it. Number 2. Finally, number 1, Captain America, Winter Soldier. The more I thought about the MCU as a whole, the more this one kept rising up for me. Again, my top 3 are so interchangeable. They really are. Kind of just depends on my mood. But when I really think about Winter Soldier, first off, it made Captain America beyond awesome. Secondly, I loved that it was gritty and still managed to keep some of that Marvel MCU funny tone. Like, it just was a great balance of grit and that. And 3, love the spy genre thing that they did with this. This is literally a super exciting spy movie with a superhero in it. It's incredible. So smart. So well done. Thank you, Marvel. Thank you, Russo brothers. Can't wait for Infinity War. Yes! There it is. My 17 MCU. Sarah, you and I share a number 1 in common. Yeah! Well, thank you all so much for watching this video, watching my countdown. Now, let's put your countdown in the comments. How would you rank 17 being your least favorite, number 1 being your favorite? How would you rank the MCU movies Iron Man through Thor Ragnarok? I'm super excited for Black Panther. I'm super excited for Avengers Infinity War. I'm so excited for the future and what's coming down the line. How excited are you? Let's talk in the comments. While you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Next to the subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified the moment I drop new videos like these ranking videos and movie reviews and theological analyses and trailer reactions. And check out my Patreon page. I did throw this question out to my patrons to, ask them to give me their list, and it's just a fun way to talk with my patrons and things like that. And there's different rewards for different levels of giving. So if you would like to check out that Patreon page and become a patron, I would be so thankful. If not, that's fine too. I'm just excited to have you here as a Durbanian, watching these videos, talking movies. It's so exciting. So thank you all so much. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.